Think you know Central Asia? Forget the stereotypes of barren deserts and ancient cities. Uzbekistan will blow your mind. How can a landlocked country have such beautiful inland beaches? And how did a place that was isolated during the Cold War become a global tourist hotspot? Here are 15 of the most amazing facts about Uzbekistan, a country you know next to nothing about, but won't be able to stop learning about after watching this video. 1. A landlocked country that still has beaches. It may sound unbelievable, but Uzbekistan, one of only 2 countries in the world that is completely landlocked, has a beach that attracts tourists. How is that possible? The story begins with Lake Aral, once one of the largest inland lakes on the planet. However, due to overexploitation of resources and climate change, the lake has shrunk dramatically, leaving a dry desert where there used to be a vast sea. But instead of leaving it alone, Uzbekistan has chosen to take advantage of that. They have created artificial sandbanks around the lake, built tourism infrastructure and promoted the image of a sea in the desert. Today, tourists come here not only to watch the sunset over the lake, but also to experience the strangeness of a beach in the center of the continent, a testament to the extraordinary adaptability and creativity of humans. 2. The intersection of Islamic and Soviet culture. Uzbekistan is a Muslim country, but you will easily come across Soviet-style squares, opera houses, or even Lenin monuments in the heart of the city. This surprises many visitors. Why are Soviet imprints still present in a Central Asian Muslim country? The reason lies in the not-so-distant past. Uzbekistan was part of the Soviet Union for nearly 70 years. During that time, Soviet culture, architecture, education, and even the Soviet way of life were deeply ingrained in the lives of its people. When the Soviet Union collapsed, instead of completely erasing it, Uzbekistan retained many old values, combined with long-standing Islamic traditions. The result is a unique cultural identity, where you can hear the call to prayer next to an ancient European theater. The interplay between East and West, ancient and modern, creates a very unique appeal for Uzbekistan today. 3. The city is older than Rome. Think Rome is one of the oldest cities in the world? Try Samarkand, the pearl of Central Asia, which has a history of more than 2,750 years, older than the capital of Italy. Once the center of the Silk Road, Samarkand was the meeting place of many great civilizations, from the Greece of Alexander the Great, to major religions such as Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism. The city has not only survived the upheavals, but also retained the spirit of the past. Today, visitors can still admire the brilliant emerald domes, centuries-old madrassas, and feel the splendor of a civilization that was once the heart of the entire Eurasian continent. Samarkand is more than history, it is a living symphony of time. 4. Uzbeks eat fruit like gold. You might think that in a country surrounded by deserts, fruit is a luxury. But in Uzbekistan, orchards of apricots, melons and pomegranates are surprisingly sweet and laden with fruit. How is this possible in the middle of arid land? The secret lies in an ancient canal system, built centuries ago. Uzbekistan has applied sophisticated irrigation techniques since the Silk Road era, bringing water from distant mountains and rivers to irrigate the arid fields. Thanks to that, they have turned the harsh land into fertile oases. Today, step into traditional markets and you will encounter dozens of types of fresh and dried fruits, with sweet aromas filling the air. In Uzbekistan, fruit is not just food, it is a gift from nature, cherished, preserved and enjoyed as if eating gold in the heart of the desert. 5. One of the world's most beautiful metro systems. In many places, the metro is just a means of transportation. But in Uzbekistan, each station is like an underground palace, where art and architecture converge. How did a Central Asian country come to have such a magnificent metro system? The answer lies in the Soviet era. Because of its strategic location, Uzbekistan, especially its capital Tashkent, received heavy investment. In 1977, the Tashkent metro system was launched, and immediately became an underground wonder. Each station is a work of art. Marble, crystal chandeliers, mosaics and soaring vaulted ceilings create a beauty that rivals the opera house. Today, the Tashkent metro not only transports thousands of people every day, but is also a popular tourist destination, where you can admire the splendor, even while you're just going to work. Six. A written language that changed 3 times in the 20th century. Can you imagine having to relearn how to read and write your mother tongue 3 times in just a few decades? That's the story of the Uzbeks, a people who went through 3 major writing reforms in the 20th century alone. Uzbek was originally written in Arabic, closely tied to its Islamic traditions. But after the Soviet Union was founded, they switched to the Latin alphabet in an effort to modernize. Not long after, the Soviet government forced its people to switch to the Cyrillic alphabet, the writing system of the Russian language. When Uzbekistan gained independence in 1991, the country returned to Latin as a way to reaffirm its identity. Each change was not just a technical one, it was a cultural shock, disrupting the transmission of knowledge and memories. Nevertheless, Uzbeks have remained resilient, preserving their language like a red thread running through their turbulent history. 7. The city. Buried in sand for centuries. Once a shining light on the Silk Road, Khiva once disappeared from the map because it was buried in the desert sand. For centuries, this city lay silently under the dust of time, like a forgotten legend in the heart of Central Asia. So what miracle helped Khiva revive? Through many restoration and preservation efforts, this ancient city has returned to the modern world, but still retains its ancient soul. The towering clay walls, palaces, watchtowers and Islamic schools, madrasa, still stand tall as if untouched by time. Notably, Khiva is not a dead museum, but a place where people still live, trade and pray every day. Stepping through the city gate, you will feel like you are lost in a fairy tale world, where each brick tells the story of 1,000 years of history. 8. Heavy, rich and unique cuisine. Uzbek cuisine is not delicate, it is bold, intense and full of character. From plov cooked in a giant cast iron pan, to horse meat soup, clay-baked bread or fermented yogurt, every dish is a journey of taste. Why does a landlocked country in the heart of arid Central Asia have such a rich cuisine? The answer lies in its strategic location on the Silk Road. Uzbekistan is the meeting place of Chinese grains, Indian spices, Persian herbs and meats from the steppes. Plov, rice mixed with meat, carrots, garlic and raisins, is the soul of Uzbek cuisine. It appears on every important occasion, from birthdays, weddings to funerals. And wherever it is, people cook it with all their hearts, with family recipes preserved for generations. Cuisine here is not just for eating, but to tell the history, culture and love of an entire nation. 9. Snowy winters, scorching summers. You think Uzbekistan is all sun, wind and dust? In fact, this country has 4 distinct seasons, with seemingly opposite extremes. Snowy winters, summer temperatures can exceed 40 degrees Celsius. Because it is landlocked, Uzbekistan has no oceanic air currents, leading to a large temperature range. In January, heavy snow can fall in the mountains and plateaus. In July, dry heat covers the plains and deserts. But this extreme weather creates its own beauty for each season. In spring, apricot and peach blossoms bloom throughout the valleys, turning Uzbekistan into a paradise of color. In autumn, fruit markets are filled with pomegranates, grapes, and melons, and the golden landscape stretches across the steppes. The 4 seasons in Uzbekistan are not just about the weather, they are vivid chapters in a magnificent natural picture. 10. A multi-ethnic, multilingual country. Many people think that Uzbekistan is only home to Uzbeks, but in fact it is one of the most multi-ethnic countries in Central Asia. From Russians, Tajiks, Tatars to Kazakhs, Karakalpaks or even Koreans, all live together, creating a colorful cultural picture. Why is there such diversity? During the Soviet era, Uzbekistan became a place to receive millions of migrants, from groups forced to resettle to those who came to find new opportunities. Many generations stayed, integrated and built communities here. Today, Uzbekistan has more than 130 ethnic groups living together. That brings diversity in languages, religions and traditions. In big cities like Tashkent or Bukhara, you can easily feel the international atmosphere, where Uzbek sounds alongside Russian, where Orthodox churches stand next to mosques. A small country in the middle of the continent, but opens its arms to the whole world. (11) Traditional hats are not just for wearing, they tell stories. In Uzbekistan, a hat is more than just a sunshade, it is a miniature cultural book. Just by looking at the pattern, color and style, you can guess which region the wearer is from, what class he belongs to, and even whether he is married. The traditional hat is called tube tika, usually round or slightly square, meticulously hand-embroidered. Each region has its own pattern. The shape of a dream leaf represents protection and luck, the square represents the land and ancestors, the wave pattern is a symbol of water, the source of life in the desert. For the Uzbeks, the hat is not just a costume, it is an identity, a memory and a silent voice of the community. From the elderly at festivals to children on religious holidays, the tube tika is always present as a sacred part of life. You've just discovered 12 amazing facts about Uzbekistan, a country that may not have been on your travel bucket list, but it's definitely in your mind and heart right now. If you think Uzbekistan deserves to be known more, like, subscribe and share this video. Who knows, your next destination might not be Paris or Tokyo, but a sunset over the Emerald Dome of Samarkand. This is an episode of the travel documentary series, where you explore the world in a completely different way. See you on the next journey.